Welcome back to Atlanta Magic Night. Let's give another hand to Arthur Atsma. This next performer I have known for a lot of years. And he is an outstanding performer. He is also a business executive. And he has just been elected the International Vice President of the International Brotherhood of Magicians, which means that he'll be president in a couple of years. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you for a fascinating evening my friend Mike Dunagan.
Hopefully you guys will hear me a little better now. How are you tonight? Welcome to Atlanta Magic Night. My name's Mike Dunagan, as Mark said, and I'm thrilled to be back here on stage again. But I'm actually much more excited about seeing all of you here. Because as Mark mentioned, I'm a mentalist. I need people in the room and minds to read in order to be able to do the things that I enjoy doing. So thank you to all of you for being here tonight. So give yourself a round of applause. All right, that's kind of a cheap trick, but that's okay. He gets applause going. To get us started tonight, I'm going to need the help of everybody in the room. So I want everyone to take a deep breath, let it out, and clear your minds. Now, I want you to think, just think, don't say it out loud. I want you to think of any playing card in a deck of cards, any of the 52 cards, but stick with the first card that pops to mind. Everybody have one? Yeah. Terrific. Now, be honest. How many of you thought of the Queen of Hearts? All right, a couple. Hands down. How many of you thought of the Ace of Spades? Quite a few more. All right, hands down. And how many of you thought of the Eight of Clubs? Raise your hand. All right, no, and that's interesting. Well, science tells us that those three cards, the Queen of Hearts, the Ace of Spades, and the Eight of Clubs, are the most commonly thought of cards when you ask somebody to think of a card. So for what we're about to try, those three cards are completely excluded, all right? Ignore those cards. Here's what I think we're going to do. In fact, if you didn't, I don't remember, I don't think you raised your hand. All right, great. I want to work with someone who did not think of one of those three cards. Do you mind helping me out? You can stay right there at your seat. But can you stand up? That way everyone can see you. What's your name? John. John. Give John a nice round of applause for helping here. So John, I have here a deck of playing cards. It's actually a brand new deck. I opened it, I don't know, about 2 hours ago. And when I did, I made two changes to this deck. The first change I made was I took out the two advertising cards and I took out the two jokers and threw them away. So inside the box, all that's here are the 52 normal playing cards. The second thing I did, we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. So first, John, I want to talk about you. You've got a card in mind, correct? And it's not one of our excluded cards. Great. I want you to forget that card, throw it out, ignore it entirely now, and think of a brand new card. You have one? Good. Throw that one out, too. We want to make this as random as we possibly can, but I promise this is the last time. One more time, think of a new card that you have not thought of yet. Do you have one? Yes. Perfect. What's the card? Ten of Spades. 10 of Spades. Very good. As I said earlier, this is a brand new deck of cards, still in new deck order, which just means that all the spades, diamonds, and everything else are all together. They're all numerically sequential right now. And again, that was the 10 of Spades. Did everybody hear that? Yeah. All right, so let's see what we can find here. We're going to go down till we find the 10 of Spades, which spades come first, so it's close by. Going to move it right there, and that is the card that you wanted. If everyone else can see it, the 10 of Spades. In fact, I tell you what we will do. To make sure that everyone can keep their eye on it, I'm going to put it right there. Now, John, as I said earlier, It's a brand new deck, right? I just opened it an hour and a half, 2 hours ago or so. It has all the cards in sequential order, and I made 2 changes to it. The first change, as I said, was I got rid of the two jokers and the 2 advertising cards. The second change I made, well, it was actually to remove the 10 of spades from the deck and replace it with the 10 of spades of a red back deck. Making it the only blue card, or a red card, I'm sorry, in an entire deck of blue cards. Marvelous job. Thank you. Give John a big round of applause. Don't need that. Hey, thank you. So, John, I will tell you, I appreciate the help. I don't think there's anything worse. John, a big round of applause. Great job. So, happy you enjoyed it, and hopefully that first exercise gives you some idea of the types of things that I like to do in my show, most of which are all about human nature. Because you see, I believe that human nature is actually fairly easy to predict. I know things about all of you. And I don't mean in a creepy kind of stalking sort of way, but as a group and the types of things that you are likely to do. For example, I know that before we started back the show tonight, some of you in the room actually noticed the pad of paper up here with the numbers on it. I also know that there is a subset of that group that actually took the time to add those numbers up and confirm my math, right? Yep, absolutely. See, I know things about you. And how you respond and how you react to something like this gives me some insight, let's say, as to how you might act in the future. In fact, it's going to give me insight about 2 of you right now. I'm going to go over here. Yes, there's a lady right here in a orangish top, Stacy, right? So I will confession up front, Stacy and I met when she came in the door tonight, but before this, we do not know each other, correct? Wonderful. Question. Did you notice this pad of paper before the show started tonight with the numbers on it? You did. And did you take the time to add those up? Oh, only the last row. Okay. Well, was my last row correct? Perfect. Let's go over here. You, sir. I have a question. The same questions for you. Did you notice this pad of paper before we started tonight? And you added them all? And was the total correct? Good. With my math skills, it's always good to double check. That's terrific. So 2 people, right? A woman here who saw the pad, did a little bit of addition, but didn't finish it. Gentleman here who saw the pad, saw the numbers, added them up, and confirmed that I can do basic math. These things that they've told me give me an idea of some actions that they may take down the road that allows me to perhaps make a forecast of what's to come. In fact, give me one quick second. Just want to make a quick note here while I'm thinking about it. All right, that'll do. I'm going to set it right here so we can all keep an eye on it. I'm going to go back over here to Stacy. Stacy, would you mind standing up so everyone can hear you better? Give her a round of applause, everybody. So, Stacy, we've made it perfectly clear that I have a pad of paper up here with a bunch of numbers on it. This first number, 135. What number, the 1, the 3, or the 5, do you want to choose? 3. All right. 3 is going to be your number, Stacy. I'm going to put it right there. 423 is the next number. Which of those numbers do you want, the 4, the 2, or the 3? 4. The 4. And we'll move it over. 943, 9, the 4, the 3? 4. I like the fact that you know your mind. 389, 3, 8, or 9? 8. 8 comes over. And 778, 778, what's your choice? The first 7 or the second 7? The first 7. All right, Stacy, you have now created the number 34,487. You had no idea when you were coming here tonight that you were going to create the number 34,487. And though we did meet a little bit earlier, I didn't ask you to take part in this before the show began. I didn't give you numbers, or no one else gave you numbers to give back to me, correct? Wonderful. Give her a nice round of applause. You may be seated. You, sir, would you mind standing up for me? Is that okay? If not, you can do it from your seat. Sorry about that. And your name is? What's the first name? Al. Everybody give Al a nice round of applause. Now, Al, Stacy used up a few numbers up here, but we still have plenty of choices for you. This first row is now the number 15, a 1 and a 5. Which of those two digits would you like to choose? The 5? All right. We will move the 5 right over here. 23, the 2 or the 3. What one do you want? 2. 93, 9 or a 3? 9 it is. 39, 3 or the 9? 3 comes over. And finally, 7 or the 8? 8 comes over as well. So Al, you have created the number 52,938. Again, you had no idea you were going to create that tonight, right? And I did not, we've never met before. I didn't talk to you before the show tonight. No one else did either, in asking you to take part in this or give you numbers to give back to me, correct? Terrific. Everybody give Al a nice round of applause. Al, you may be seated. Thank you very much. So Stacy and Al made some choices that created 2 random 5-digit numbers. But they also together have created a third 5-digit number, right? The numbers that are left behind. So let's move those down. We've got a 1. Well, we've got a 3. We have another 3. We have a 9. And we have a 7. So between them, they have created the number 13,397. 3 5-digit numbers, all in a row, begging to be added. This is where you guys keep me honest with my math, all right? So 7 and 8 is 15, plus 7 is? 22. Very good. There's a 2. We'll come up here with that. 8 and 2 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 3 is 22 again. So there's a 2. Do that. 9 and, well, let's do 7, and 9 is 16, plus 2 is 18. 4 and 1 is 5, plus 5 is 10. And 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again, right? So we have created the number 100,822. Let's write that nice and large on the back, on the next sheet so everyone can see it. So that's 100,822. Let's remember how we got here. 2 people in the room, 2 volunteers, both made a series of decisions that created 3 5-digit numbers in the end. We then added those numbers up, and we reached a total of 100,822. A total that no one in this room had any idea we would create tonight, that no one in the world had any idea that we would create tonight. Except, as I said earlier, I believe that human nature is actually fairly easy to predict. Ladies and gentlemen, 100,822. That's crazy, isn't it? And thank you very much. I appreciate the applause. But that's crazy. How in the world does something like that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happens. It happens because human beings find it virtually impossible to make truly random decisions. We're influenced by everything that happens to us. We're influenced by what time we get up in the morning and what we eat for breakfast. We're influenced by the people we hang around with all day. We're influenced by the radio shows we listen to and the television shows we watch. And sometimes you're even influenced by the day itself. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today is October the 8th, 2022. Thank you. And that's human nature. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy you enjoyed that. It's a fun one to do. And hopefully my first two routines tonight give you a pretty good idea or helps demonstrate what mentalism and mind magic is all about. But now it's time for me to shift gears a little bit and deal less with what I can do and focus much more on what some of you can do. So a show of hands here. How many of you in the room, either at some point in your life, either recently or could have been years ago or when you were even a child perhaps, but how many of you feel like you have had some sort of psychic or ESP kind of experience? Be honest, raise your hands, okay? All right, good. That's great. I've got a sampling coming up. Slow responders, but that's good. And that's great. And a few of you raised your hand, and I'm happy to see that because I want to work with one of y'all tonight. There was a woman in the back there whose hand came up in the dress. Did his hand come up too? Do you mind coming up to stage and helping me with this? Ladies and gentlemen, give her a nice round of applause. I am Mike. You are? Kim. Very nice to meet you, Kim. You too. Please, if I can get you to stand right over here. So, Kim, you and I are going to try a little experiment here. And in truth, it is a test. It's actually the first test that parapsychologists will normally give to someone if they're trying to measure their ESP abilities, kind of the first in a series of tests. But I don't want you to think about this as a test. Don't think of it as some kind of experiment or anything. I don't want you to take it that seriously. I want you to have some fun with it. In fact, treat it like a game, because the more you treat it like a game, the more fun you're going to have. The more fun you're going to have, the more relaxed you're going to be up here, and ultimately, the more likely you are to let your intuition drive your thinking, because I'm going to ask you just a few questions in just a moment. Now, we're going to be using these envelopes. The reason I use these envelopes, these are just simple pay envelopes that you can get at any office supply store, but they are opaque. You cannot see through them, and for what we're about to try, that's very important. Now, I have 4 of them here I'm going to give you. Just so you'll know, inside each one of these envelopes, I have placed a colored piece of cardboard, a different color in each envelope. The colors are red, yellow, green, and blue. Don't worry, you don't have to remember that. I'll prompt you again. I will give those to you. If you would, you can hold them up to the light, make sure that that you really can't see through them, and then when you finish doing that, give them a good mix so that neither you nor I have any idea what order they're in or anything like that. Good? Good. All right, terrific. Now, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, very simple questions, and I want you to answer each one as I ask, but try and let your instincts drive you, your intuition speak to you as you make these answers, all right? Okay. So, Kim, right? Kim, which of those envelopes do you believe holds the green piece of cardboard? That's the one? Yep. All right, I will take that, and we will put a G right there so we keep it straight. Jill, Kim, sorry. Kim, which of those envelopes do you believe has the red piece of cardboard? Very good. We will mark that one as well with an R. We're down to 2. Which of those envelopes do you believe holds the blue piece of cardboard? Ooh, a lot of thought on going into this one. You sure?
No.
But that's your choice.
No.
Okay, that's great. Oh, I don't think the audience agreed with you. I'm just saying. And a B on that one. Okay. So Jill, why do I keep calling you Jill? Kim, what envelope that you're holding do you think has the yellow piece of cardboard? All right, doesn't feel like much of a choice, I know. But in truth it is, right? Because you made the decision to keep that envelope for last. Yellow's our last color. So in truth, you have made the decision that that envelope holds the yellow cardboard. I'm going to let you hang on to that. We're going to put, as soon as I move this, we're going to put your choices here. That's the envelope you thought had blue. That's the one you thought had red. That's the one you thought had green. How did you feel about that? Did you have fun?
Yes.
All right, your intuition kind of drove your answers? Yep. All right, we will find out. Now, I will say this. I did say earlier that this is a simple experiment or a simple test, and it is an absolutely simple test, as you can see. But it's also a very difficult test. When parapsychologists conduct this, it's not at all unusual for the subject, the person being measured, to miss on all four of their choices because it truly is a difficult test. So I don't want you to get hung up on how you did. It really was kind of an exercise just to see how you could tap into your intuition and see how it goes. But it is a difficult test, so don't get too hung up on this, all right? But we might as well see how we're doing. Let's start with the envelope you thought had the blue piece of cardboard in it. Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, she is 1 for 1. Very good. That's great. Like I said earlier, most people miss all four, so you are doing quite well. That's a nice way to start. Let's keep it going. This is the envelope that you thought had the red piece of cardboard in it. She is 2 for 2. That's amazing. That is fantastic. And as you can see, there's nothing else in there, no other piece of cardboard. You are 2 for 2. You are way ahead of the curve. If we were in school, you'd be ruining the curve for everybody. So let's go to the green. Now, this is obviously the envelope that she thinks has the green piece of cardboard in it. And in truth, it tells the story for the rest of our experiment, doesn't it? Because if this does have the green piece of cardboard in it, that means you get this one, and by default, that's going to be right as well. So you will have hit on all four of them. Equally so, if the yellow piece of cardboard's in here, you know you're going to miss this one and that one, but you still have a 50% hit rate, which is really phenomenal. That being said, let's see how it goes. We're looking for the green piece of cardboard. Wow. That is fantastic. That is amazing. I am truly impressed, which means you are 4 for 4, which means that envelope has to have the yellow piece of cardboard, but because I'm sure we have some people who like to see it rather than hear it, go ahead and open the envelope, take out the yellow piece of cardboard. Oh, and I put a note in there for you too. Take that out as well. Remove it. Show everybody. All right, she is 4 for 4. Let's hear it. And if you would, read that out loud for everybody.
I knew this envelope would be your last choice.
And I did. Thank you so much. You did a wonderful job. I'll take that. I will let you go back to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, give her a huge round of applause. That was amazing. And a tough act to follow, I might add. Maybe she should be up here doing this show, and I can go relax. So I'm going to do something I literally never do. I'm making a change in my program on the fly. I'm going to skip the routine I was going to do next because I want to do a routine instead that I take with me to every show that I do. But I almost never pull it out and do it. And the reason is it's hard. And quite honestly, more times than not, it's not successful, which is kind of a downer for the room. However, tonight, I feel like I've got someone in the room that I have a strong mental connection with. Someone who is, I believe, extremely smart, a strong sense of intuition, and quite honestly, I think this person might even have some mild ability to read minds, some clairvoyance, at least to some extent. I know it's going to surprise him when I say this because I don't think he has any idea, but the person I feel this connection with is you, sir. I can see by your face, you're like, not me. And that's not surprising. It's not at all unusual for someone to not know they've got some latent abilities, but I really do believe that you do. I feel like we've got a strong connection going. Would you mind helping me with this with this next routine I want to try? Wonder if you can do it from right there. You can stand up. What's your name? Victor. Victor? Victor, get a nice round of applause from everybody. So I apologize to everybody. Since I wasn't planning on doing this, I was not entirely set. But you're fine right there for now. You don't have to come up. Give me one quick second, though, because I have to do a little preparation on this. And on-the-fly artwork is not my forte. All right, Victor, under the lights, you can see the black circle I just drew, yes? All right, Victor, here's what's going to happen. And I have inside this envelope 5 white sheets of paper. On each sheet of paper, I have printed a number. Sequentially, the numbers 1 through 5. In a moment, I'm going to select one of those numbers, and I'm going to write it down inside the black circle and make it a target number for us. Once we've done that, I'm going to start trying to push that thought to you. I'm going to see if we can make kind of a mental connection, and if your clairvoyant capabilities allow you to get a sense of what number it is I'm sending. Now, the way we're going to do this is after I write the number and start sending it, I'm going to start taking these sheets of paper out one by one. And when you see me holding up the piece of paper that has the number on it that you think is the number that I'm sending, just say stop. And whatever you are holding, whatever number is showing is going to be your choice, no games. Understood? All right, in that case, let's get a number. All right, Victor, I have written the number. I'm going to start pushing it your way now. The only piece of advice I can give you is I don't make a decision now on what number it is. See a number and get a feel for it. And if it feels right, tell me to stop. Are you ready? All right. Victor, do you think I am trying to send you the number 1? No. All right. Victor, do you think I am trying to send you the number 2? No. Victor, do you believe that I am trying to send you the number 3? No. Victor, do you believe that I'm trying to send you the number 4? Yes. The number 4. All right, but as I said, when you say it's the one, it's your choice. Your choice is number 4. And I do know that I said that I think you've got some latent abilities, and I do. But I also said this is a very difficult test. But boy, when it works, Victor, it is the number 4. That is incredible. Oh, give it up for the man. That is phenomenal. That is, Victor, that is just terrific. You know what? I have a very special delivery for a very special person, and that person's going to be you. Do you mind holding on to that for me for a few minutes? Would you confirm that that's a FedEx envelope completely sealed, correct? All right. Keep it with you. Don't let anybody mess with it, and I will come back for it a little bit later. Thank you very much. Our guardian of the envelope. Give her a round of applause. So, Victor, I don't want you to really feel like I'm picking on you. But I do feel like we've got a strong connection. And for my last piece tonight, I think it's something you would enjoy, and I think you would do really well with it. Do you mind helping me? Yes. Yes, you mind? Or yes, you will? Oh, good. Come on up. Give Victor another round of applause. Thank you so much. Nice to be able to shake your hand. I'm just going to do a little bit of stage management, so pardon me for just a moment. I'm going to do that. And I am going to move this right over here. So as everyone can tell, I robbed a bookstore on the way here tonight. Kind of looks like it, doesn't it, Victor? I love reading, and these are some books that I had sitting at home that I brought with me tonight. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't read, but I will get to them all. But as you can see, there's a little bit of everything. A Stephen King book, an investment book. Want to guess which one's the horror story right now? Just saying. And a variety of other books, mysteries, science fiction, biographies, self-help, a little bit of everything. Victor, what I'd like you to do is start making a stack right here of those books. Yeah, turn it that way. Yeah, there you go. Great. Now, go ahead and start moving all of these books and just build this up into a tower of books. You can take them from whatever pile you want. You can take them one at a time. You can take them two at a time, whatever feels right to you. Doing great. They've not fallen yet. I tell you what, I'm going to move that over, and I am going to scoot it back this way just a little bit. Perfect. Neatness counts. That's terrific. You should be an architect. That's great. Are you an architect? No, but that would have been so great, wouldn't it? That would have been the ultimate. All right, Victor, here's what we're going to do. I now have some choices that you're going to make. And choices might not really be the right word. I've got a ton of numbers in here, page numbers written down on slips of paper that we're going to work with. But we're going to have a very specific way that we're going to approach that, all right? In just a moment, I'm going to have you reach in and, ignore the bent one, and move some of these around and take a slip out. Now, we're going to start with your right hand. When you step forward, I'm going to have us both look away. I'm going to open it up. You're going to reach in with your right hand, take out a slip of paper. Do not check the number. Do not, if you can help it, let anyone out there see the number. But take that number and put it straight into your right pocket. Right hand to your right pocket. All right? Let's look towards them. There you go. Reach in. Grab a slip of paper. Easier said than done, isn't it? Straight to the right pocket. Perfect. Now we're going to do it again. Only this time, I want you to reach in with your left hand. But we're going to do the same thing. We're still going to look away, right? And you're going to pull it out with your left hand straight to your left pocket. Let's look that way this time. Oh, sure. Go ahead with your left hand. Slip of paper. Take it out into your left pocket. Perfect. All right. Good news. Total freedom this time. You can use either hand that you want. But one more time, I don't want you to look at it. So reach in, grab a number, take it out. But this time you can hold on to it, okay? Go ahead. Very good. While I've got this, you can go ahead and take a look at that number. And do you like that number? Because if you don't, I've got a lot of other choices in here we can go with.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Great. I'll take it back. Let's do it again. Look away, reach in. Hey, I've got a lot of pages in here, and I get paid by the hour. We can do this as long as you want to. All right, check out that number. Better?
I like it.
You like it? Okay, good. In that case, I will set this down. I will grab my pad of paper because we're going to need it. Victor, you've got a piece of paper in your hand. What is the first digit of that number? What's the first number?
8.
8? All right, great. Step forward, and I want you to take 8 books off the top of the stack and just discard them to either side, right? Wow, good. And you kind of spread it out. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. And there's at least one more number. Is there another number on there?
Yes.
What is it?
3.
3. Go ahead and take the next 3 off and discard them. Very good. Put them over here. I worry it's going to fall over. And do you have a third number?
No.
You don't. In that case, there's your book. You can go ahead and take that book if you would. And what book did you get?
A boy and his dog at the end of the world.
I've not actually read that yet. Sounds cheery, doesn't it? But I have heard good things about it, so maybe tonight's the night I will start on that. All right, Victor, I want you to make sure you don't trip over anything, but take a couple of steps back from me if you would. Now, Victor, I'm going to turn my back to you in just a moment. And when I do, I want you to either take your right hand, go into your right pocket and pull out the slip of paper there, or choose to use your left hand, go in and get that piece of paper and pull it out. Your choice. But don't tell me what hand, and once you pull it out, don't tell me what page number is written on that. But do tell me when you're done. You're done? All right. Go ahead and open that book, the book that you chose. Go ahead and open to whatever page number was on that slip of paper.
All right.
You got it? All right, and that now hold the book up like you're reading it, but I don't want to see the pages when I turn around, so make sure the cover's facing me. Are you ready? Perfect directions to follow. That's great. All right. Here's where the fun begins. Let's start with the page number. Find the page number on that page, wherever it is, and stare at it. I want you to burn it into your mind. Repeat it to yourself, not out loud, but repeat that number a couple of times. Okay? That's what we're going to go with. Okay, you can skip the page number now. Go to the bottom of that page. Look down at the very bottom and count up 5 sentences from the bottom. And when I tell you to, I want you to silently read those 5 sentences to yourself. Are you ready? All right, go ahead and start now. Okay. Are you done?
Yes.
All right. We'll see how that one goes. Now, last thing I need you to do. I want you to take your index finger, and I want you to put your index finger dead center on that page, or as much close to it as you can, both horizontally and vertically, whatever the dead center is. Now, check under your finger or just above it or just below it and see if there's an interesting word there. And I'm talking 8, 9, 10 letters long or longer. Something that, wait, did I just get the sense of a G, a capital G?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's great. Stick with that word. Stick with that word. Focus on that word. Just that word. Okay. We'll try. All right. Well, I'm committed. So, Victor, keep that book open. Now it's time to see how this goes. Let's start with those 5 sentences that you read, because I didn't write that down, and that's going to leave me the fastest. As you were reading it, I got kind of a sense of, first of all, I didn't get any names, I don't believe. I feel like it's like a first-person narrative almost that you were reading. But I felt like I picked up on a sense of kind of frustration. And I keep getting this image of like a puzzle maybe with pieces missing. And I think that goes to the frustration. I think this is someone who doesn't feel like they know the whole story, or that they are, I don't know, aware of everything. Does this make any sense at all?
Yeah.
It does? Would you read those 5 sentences out so the room can hear it as well?
What's 5 lines, not 5 sentences?
I mean, 5 sentences. Yeah, well, 5 lines. Yes, you're right.
Hoping the newcomer might hold a fresh piece of a jigsaw that in truth will now never be fully completed. And the stories that come down through our family don't have a bird's eye view of events because, of course, they only saw the edges of things or heard of them at a distance.
I will take that as a hit. That was terrific. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, well, that one went well, so let's see if we can bring it home. Victor, what page number were you looking at?
36.
36. And what word were you on?
Gelding.
Gelding? 36 and gelding. Victor, you're fantastic, man. Thank you so much. You can put the book down. Terrific job. Set it there. Oh, you know what, Victor? I have in the audience an envelope. Hey, Guardian, how's my envelope?
Still closed.
Good. So no one's messed with it? No one's opened it? Victor, you are now the witness for the entire room. Just a plain FedEx delivery envelope, completely sealed, as you can see, yes. And you're going to watch me open it with a pull cord. Now, would you confirm for me that there is one thing and one thing only inside that envelope.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can see the smile already hitting Victor's face. So let me catch everybody else up. On this table, there were, 15 books or so, hardback books with all of them had their dust jacket except one. And the one that does not have one is indeed A Boy and His Dog at the End of the World, the very book Victor selected. Victor, wonderful job. Thank you so much. You can head back. Oh, give him a huge round of applause. That was terrific. Very nice. Well, my name's Mike Dunagan. I have had a blast tonight. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves too. Thank you again very much for being here. Have a fun rest of the evening, safe trip home, and I look forward to seeing all of you again in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much.
Mike Dunagan, let's give him a hand.
Thank you.
And another hand for Arthur Atsma. Check the Red Light Cafe website, redlightcafe.com, for our show in November. It'll be a great show. We are glad you were with us tonight and hope you'll come back and see us. Good night, everybody.